welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca. Happy 15th of June, everybody. Halfway through, my cover paper, my 1 to 15 gets to go back in its pouch and go away because we have hit that mark. So this is the selection for today. It looks like we are filling up that sort of bookshelf behind her desk. So let's start with some ABs and let's grab an AB pen and get these ones in before we get on with the rest. Sorry if this video is a little bit delayed from my usual 4 p.m. start time. I think it may end up being, it really does depend on how quick I can get this done, but looking at the clock, it's probably going to end up on YouTube a little bit late, so I do apologise. I am filming this on the day, on the 15th, but I already had an appointment this morning for eyebrows and nails, and it took a bit longer than we thought. Normally me and Karis go for our eyebrows and nails together, and it's normally a matter of sort of one of us is getting eyebrows done and the other one's getting nails done, and then we switch over. But today it ended up being that we both had pretty much got our eyebrows done by the time the nails lady was free to start on our nails. It works out quite well, they're both in the same place. So yeah, it just ended up taking longer. And I wasn't up and at 'em early enough this morning before we went to be able to get this video done beforehand. I did want to do it last night, but then we got distracted. We're still having issues with the water. We've had a plumber around this morning, that basically the water company uses this plumber to push any air through the pipes to sort of get rid of any potential blockages that are causing our low water pressure. And yes, the guy came out this morning and he actually showed hubby, but he went to the sort of stop tap outside next doors and he's like, okay, when I do this, it's supposed to like release the pressure and like splurt the water, and it was just like a hosed pipe that's just going up and then down. So yes, he's like, this is wrong. It is not doing anything that it's supposed to do. And we're like, heck yes, we know. So yeah, he's basically having to get them out again to dig up or do something else to figure out where on earth the water pressure has gone. So just a little update on that one. We do have water. It's not a problem that we don't have it. It's just low pressure, which can cause more trouble with the shower. When we go to use the shower, it can sometimes, the pressure can drop enough that our shower goes, that's not right. I don't have enough pressure. I'm going to give you cold water. Which is not the most exciting. So yeah, it's all fun. It's all go in this house this weekend. My daughter's had a friend over because they went to the Taylor Swift concert the other day. So she's travelled down by train and has been staying with us for a couple of days. But I think she's heading back home. Oh, I think her train is at some point while I'm filming this. But yeah, it is a madhouse over here this weekend is what it is. It's a mad house. But hey, that's quite normal for us. So it's a go with the flow kind of thing, especially on weekends over here. But yeah, I hope everybody else is having a great one. I'm hoping to get some things sorted out, straightened up this weekend. I was actually hoping to try and get on top of some of my washing this weekend, but it is freezing outside today. I thought it was supposed to be quite nice according to the weather, but no, quite nice means no rain. You just can't have the warmth with it. So yeah, sorry, British person moaning about the weather again. Anyway, I will leave it at that. And I will get on to comments, etc. So Blossom Shops, she has asked if I could put the link in the group for the small pen, the little Diddy white pen that I have from Hand Turned Heaven, because she wasn't able to find it. And I did go on a hunt for that yesterday, because it was the next comment up. I sort of read it once I'd finished, and I did go on a hunt, and unfortunately the group is no longer there. So I don't know whether they no longer do pens or not, but Hand Turned Heaven is not there at all. I did also go hunting for my original unboxing video for it. Found the link within that video, and that tells me that it no longer works. So it doesn't even look like it's changed names. It looks like it's gone completely. So I am sorry about that one. It is something, if you do know somebody that can make hand-turned resin diamond painting pens, then you may well be able to, they may well be able to do the small pens. I think it would potentially be a matter of asking. But the original place I got it from is no longer there, unfortunately. Pampered with Diamonds says, how do you see the numbers? So I'm not sure if you mean like the numbers on the canvas, or I do have the numbers on the side of the tray for which one it is that I'm doing. So this one tells me that it's the 2 dots, and it's number 3857. Might not be focusing, but that tells me then that it's these 2 dots here. So I'm not sure if that's what you mean. If not, do feel free to ask the question again, and just let me know which numbers you're trying to clarify, and I'll let you know. Anastasia, she says she doesn't know if it is the tray material, she says, or if it is Diamond Art Club's stickers, but she says they don't stick well to bottles anymore. Maybe they don't like sticking to plastic. It's one of those that can potentially be a very hard thing, because to have a sticker that is removable enough that it doesn't leave residue, which can annoy some people, and may have been something that people have raised. Goodness me, I think I can actually hear torrential rain. Sorry, sidetrack. Yeah, maybe people have moaned that it was too sticky and leaving residue on the bottles, so they've gone for a lighter adhesive, and maybe now it's gone the opposite way. I say, I'm not particularly, there is some of them that are curling up, but I'm not losing them fully. And I could potentially, and I probably should have done, if it was in my craft room, I'd have put a bit of tape on them, a bit of Scotch tape on there, and they would have been fine. But to be honest, because it's not in here, in this room, and it's actually in the shop, and yeah, I remember about it when I'm filming, and it's been that long now without them, like me coming in one day and finding a load of them all fallen onto the table. I haven't come in to find any fallen. The only one I've sent somewhere is one that I've knocked on the way. So I think I'm just going to keep dealing with it and just keep pressing them down that little bit more each time I've got hold of the tray. and it'll figure itself out. Oh, that burst of rain seems to have stopped now. Monique says, day 3, love it, love it. Thank you, Monique. Glad you're having fun. Diamond painting with cats and dogs says hi, says it is Polly here. Love listening and watching my videos. Just checking for any before I move up here. They have a tray system like my setup, and she says, let me tell you, it saves a lot of time when you are diamond painting. She shows her setup in a video. She'll show it in a video, she says, when she shows her craft room setup. She says, what kind of camera do you use for filming your videos? It works great for focusing on close-ups. So I use a Canon G7X, and I have the Mark II version. When I was hunting for a camera for in here, I wanted something that I could flip the back screen up so that I could actually see what I was filming when it is way above my head. So the Canon G7X series, I think they might be on Mark III by now, but mine's the Mark II, and yeah, it works wonders. Absolute wonders. Did I say I'm using the last pen from Brianne and her boys today? They sent me a few. They had fun making them. This is my Christmassy one. One of the others was inspired by Zesty Wolf. So, which was the first diamond painting we ever did for a December Advent. It's the first one that we sort of partnered with Diamond Art Studio UK, and they helped us get that put together, and then we sold it through our shop. So yeah, it's nice to have a Zesty Wolf one. Zesty Wolf is still up in my room in here. Zesty Wolf is mounted and up on the wall. I do need to put some others up on my wall as well. But that's one of the things that one of these days, especially if we ever have nice weather, because I always find things like this easier to do when we do have nice weather. But when I get round to having a day where I can just sort of potter, that's when things like putting pictures up in certain rooms sort of spring to mind. It's like a little job that you never quite find the time for, but is great to do on a pottering day. Right, I've got 2 diamonds. Oh, they've got a little like speck of something on the white diamonds, but to be honest, oh, maybe I can see it. I was thinking I can't see it that much when I move back, but I can still see it. I've actually got 2 of them. So that's one. Get off. And yes, I did just throw that on my desk. I don't have the time to fight with them. I'll fight with them later. Let me put replacements in and straighten up these diamonds I knocked out the way, and see if we can get back on course. There we go. Okay, normal service to resume. Kaz says, that happens to me when she multiplaces. Not sure what that was. That's the only thing when my comments are so far behind. Sometimes if you are commenting on something specific, or a reaction to something that's happened in a video, it's been far too many sleeps since the 3rd of June for me to remember what it was that I could have done. But I'm sure it's something that is potentially still happening today. Helen says her little cousin, she says 17 or 18 at the time, she said had hand-turned pens, and she was begging for him to do a diamond painting pen. But but unfortunately he said he couldn't find something to make it. She said, but he did turn me a beautiful seam ripper and a pen, of course. That's beautiful. To be honest, I think the only thing that, I mean, some places use a metal placer. They'll sell them with a metal placer or with a plastic placer. But I think they just get them out of the pink pens or buy them in bulk. I don't think it's any sort of special different tip. All the pens that I've had have either come with the plastic tip or with a metal tip, depending on the seller, or some of them have come with none. And then I could just add my own plastic or metal tip to them. It's just a matter of having the hole there for them to go into. Maybe that'll help. I do need to find myself a seam ripper soon, I think. I haven't yet needed one, but I am sure I will need one at some point in my quilting journey. Though I've not had much time since a bit of time last weekend to do some. I've not had any other time to get any quilting done in the week. Liz says she is definitely on a roll this year. She said her third section was finished before me. She said so she's managed to move on to one of her paint gem butterflies. She says she hopes that I had a lovely break. Thank you. We definitely did, though it seems very, very distant now. I guess that's what happens when you get back into the chaos that is everyday life. Inga, she says, hi everyone. She says the painting sure pops, she says, on the black and white cover papers. Yes, I do love the rainbow ones, but I really enjoy how this one pops off. She says time to complete one section, she says, can definitely depend on if it is a round or a square. That is for sure. She says whether it's colour blocking or confetti, and the number of colours. She says single cover paper from her experience can take from 30 minutes to almost 2 hours. Which, yes, is true. I think that's why I also, whenever I start a painting, I often start quite low on my expectations of how many I could potentially get finished. So if I've got a whole evening, a good few hours to diamond paint, I will still, more often than not, on my first painting, often only peel up 2 sections of cover paper. Depending on how the sort of painting works, sometimes I'll peel back 2 with the possibility of peeling back a 3rd, you know, if the picture flows through the colours and has quite a bit of colour blocking. That can definitely make a difference. But quite often, yeah, I will have like a full evening to diamond paint and I will only peel back 2 until I sort of get in a bit more of a rhythm as to how long it will actually take me to complete said 2 pieces of cover paper, and whether some evenings I can actually peel off 3 or more. Because I do still prefer to do my whole evening sections or evening diamond painting in one section, just so that I'm not tipping out colours more often, because they aren't set up on trays normally. This is my against the norm setup. Right, where's that slash one there? She says she's obsessed with keeping track on how long it takes her. So she keeps stats and she takes a progress pic of each time she diamond paints. That is some dedication. I love the level of dedication. Do not get me wrong at all. I love that level of dedication. In an ideal world, it is something I would do. However, I have learnt as the years have gone on what is the right, I suppose, the right expectations to have on what I will be able to keep up with on a constant basis and continuously. And that is something, as much as I love it, is not something that I would be able to keep up with. So I just haven't let myself start, because then I'd just get disappointed with myself when it didn't work out. Lady Dax, she says, we have another cold day today. She says she can't believe that it was so hot, that yesterday she said was so hot in the garden. She says she hopes that I had a good breakaway. Thank you. Yes, the summer is not looking very promising at all in the UK so far. Busy Lizzie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, you asked what type of videos we would like to see more often. And she said she has a couple. She says Diamond Art Club / Dreamer Designs content, which I do try to do whenever I am working on one of their paintings especially. And of course, I do often purchase from them, so there is often unboxings as well. Is there any other sort of content on that you're wanting? On any, particular company? I don't want to stick to just one company and not much more, because I like variety. Oh, so she says more clipping ups, more whip and waffles, and stash showcase. They're the videos that she watches and leans towards. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, of course, I've got a lot more whip and waffles on Diamond Art Club. I recently had, well, it was White Christmas was my last big Dreamer Designs that I did. And there's always a lot of sort of whip and waffles on them when that happens. Because my Sunday whip and waffles now are my sort of current projects. So I try to make sure that one can vary as much as possible, but a lot of it is down to the decision wheel. For my stash, I did go through all of my stash in January. I am happy to maybe do some throughout the year where I just focus on companies that I have a lot of diamond paintings for. Maybe that could be something that I could do end of the year, beginning of next year, and just focus on the stash just from particular companies so that people can see which ones they're interested in. It might be a bit easier on me as well to sort of break it down, because getting out all my stash last year was quite epic. So maybe I could do a little bit more detailed, focused on companies' diamond paintings that I have, in sort of, take as long on the video but have less paintings in it, so that you can truly see them a little bit more. I could probably do that. She says though you do most of those anyway. She says, but that is just her thoughts and preferences on videos in general. She says she's not a fan of kitting down, but she does tend to watch those anyway, just more for company while she diamond paints. Well, I'm glad I do cover most of those for you anyway, but I am happy to sort of look at, when I next do sort of a stash update, to maybe revisit, showcase my stash, but in sort of separate lots, separated by company. So that then if you are planning on buying from a company, it might be a nice reference as well to see some a little bit closer up in case they were ones you were thinking of doing. So I'll try and remember to do that for my next lot. Chris says, so excited. They've just ordered their mini pens and they can't wait to try them. Oh, do let us know where you got them from, Chris, because Hand Turned Heaven doesn't seem to do them anymore, or at least I can't find them on Facebook, unless they're somewhere else. Or if you found another company that does them, then do feel free to pop details of them so that anybody else who wants a mini dotting pen can potentially treat themselves to one. Lulu says she can't wait to see what I'm sewing. Thank you. We do have our second sewing lesson next week. And I have sewn some bits together. I think I'm going to wait until I have been to my one next week, just in case it ends up not being the one that I'm doing. If I'm told I'm doing it completely wrong, for example, then I may switch to something else. But yeah, then I'll let you guys see sort of where I'm up to. But I'm not getting huge chunks of time to sew. Well, I'm not getting any time to diamond paint either at the minute. So it's kind of one of those. Right, let me get some more of this one, 353. I want to do a little bit more multi-placing before I go to singles. A Mysterious Days, she says this is her watch 2 of June the 1st waffle, as she's been feeling terrible lately. I hope you're feeling loads better now. She says she can't believe it's only day 3 and she's already behind. She said, but she has ordered a McDonald's and she's just going to relax today. She's hopefully she'll feel better in a few days and will be able to be productive. She said unfortunately she hasn't been up to those walks that she challenged herself to do, as literally she said showering has felt like a workout. Well, if showering feels like a workout, then showering is a workout. Frankly, if that is the way that you are feeling at the moment, then I would class a shower as a workout, and well done you for getting through that workout and getting that shower done. Because sometimes, even just if you're tired, a shower can feel like a workout. But if you're ill, I can imagine it feeling even more so like a workout. So well done you. Oh, just realised, just pop that away and realised that I have some of this up the top. Sometimes segregating off into mini blocks with the outlines works really well. It does depend on the painting, because sometimes it doesn't work as well, and I think it's just because the colours are scattered through a lot of the blocks. Rather than you just focusing in on one set of colours, you end up with a load more. And I keep seeing that I need to do this as well, these outlines that are slightly lighter. Right, let's move to those before I do completely forget them. Sarah B, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, happy day 3 to you and the Zesties. She said, today you asked for some video suggestions. She says, and she does have a few. She says that she figured she would leave for me for consideration. She says she does think she's mentioned at least one of them to before. She said, so apologies if you aren't interested in some of them. I am always up for taking suggestions. Sometimes they're not feasible, and if for any reason I know that straight off, I'll let you know. but I'm always up for suggestions of videos that you guys want to see. And I will always try and fit in ones that I can, for sure, because it varies things up for me as well. Because sometimes it's the coming up with the ideas that I don't quite have sometimes the time for. Like, I haven't spent the time to think, okay, what is it? So I just go, you know, through my normal diamond painting life and just share that with you. She says she'd like to see more behind the scenes at AMZ HQ. She said some packing orders and maybe a video of like the day in the life of AMZ's president and CEO. Love it. She said she'd love to live vicariously through me when she gets home from her boring office job. She says maybe all those kinds of videos really belong in an AMZ business channel. She says, but she'd love to see them. She says thanks for asking the Zesties for ideas. She hopes there are many good ones, she says, sent your way. That is something actually that I would like to do, sort of more of a, I think a packing orders one had been mentioned in the past, but in the past we were in, you know, the part of the shop or where I packed orders was actually here where I film as well. I packed them on this desk, and being able to have the camera above to be able to sort of get the packing of the orders, because if you've seen my craft room tour, this room is tiny, and you can't get the angles for anything any other way than sort of being up above. Excuse me. And up above didn't work particularly well for packing orders because I of course have the order sheet out to be able to pack it, and that has customer details on it, which is a big no-no for showing online. So yeah, it was very tricky then. However, in the shop now, that is a potential in the fact that I could set it up from a distance and you could just more see, I'd love to say the blur of movement because I move that fast, but it'd be more a blur of movement because I've sped it up than anything else. I need to see if I can find like maybe a camera that can do slow-mo, because this camera, if you've been watching me for a while, will know that because this camera is sold more as a photograph camera that can take videos, after about 20-24 minutes it actually saves the recording and stops the recording and you have to start it again. It's something to do with EU laws, which of course in the UK, even though we're not part of the EU, we had been for years, and a lot of our laws still are based around that. You know, some of them are still, you know, have no plans of changing because they make sense and all that jazz. But yeah, I think it's something to do with the taxing or something is different on a video camera rather than a camera. So cameras can't record for longer than that, something like that. I'm sure hubby Googled it to find out why. So yeah, so that wouldn't necessarily work for me to sort of set up a camera on orders day and just let it do its thing and then deal with editing and speeding up and sorting out afterwards, because I'd be constantly having to reset the camera to work again. So yeah, that is something that I'm happy to look into. That will take quite a bit more background work, so I might just have to wait for our Advent and Christmas items sort of storm, should we say? Not storm as in horrible, but just crazy busy type storm. I might need to wait for that to finish first, and then I can have a look into how I can potentially get it set up so that I can just set a camera up and set it to film, and then do more editing wise to pick what footage will work and give you a recap of the day. But yeah, I'm happy for that to float around in my head for a while until I can look at putting it into action, for sure. Right, that is my section completed for today, for the 15th. We're here tomorrow for the 16th. That is the 19th. That's the 16th. My 6s and my 9s, the right way around. So we're here for tomorrow. We're really getting quite a bit of this chunk up the top done. So hopefully you'll be able to join me for that one. I am going to go and get this video bits put together and get it uploaded to YouTube. I have 20 minutes, so I think it's going to be a little bit late because uploading to YouTube isn't always the quickest. So thank you so much if you have waited to watch today's. I will do better tomorrow, but I'll speak to you all then.